Hello, today's video is going to focus on finding a missing side length given an area of a rectangle or a square. In the first problem here, it says find the length of side X of the rectangle. Remember to label the units in your answer. So it's asking for X, and notice we're given an area of 40 square meters. We're given a width of 4 meters, but we do not have the length. That unknown is being labeled as X. We need to find our unknown or our X or our missing side length. Now we know that area equals length times width. So we already know that. But instead of giving the length and the width and you have to find the area, this time we have the area of 40. We need to find the missing length. And we know that we do have a width of 4. So our goal is to find a number 4 times something that gives me 40. So 4 times some number that gives me 40. And some of you right away might recognize that, wow, 4 times 10 is 40. If you did not recognize that, you can also do 40 divided by 4, which that will also give you 10 for the missing side length, or known as X. Now notice side X equals 10, but not just 10, it's 10 meters or 10 m. Notice it's not square meters because we just have the side length. Square meters would represent the area, but we have just the side length, which is why we just say 10 meters. And we could check that this is right because 10 times 4 brings me back to the area of 40 square meters. Now in this next one, it says find the length of each side of the rectangle. Remember to label the units in your answer. Now even though this says rectangle, it really should be a square. And notice we have the area equals 81 square meters. Now notice here, 81 square meters. And we have a square, which means all 4 sides are going to be equal. So that means both sides and ultimately all sides need to be the exact same measurement. So therefore here we have area equals 81 square meters. So that means side times side, or length times width, but we have a square. So that means side times side is going to be exactly the same. So 81 equals some number times some number. Now that means something times something must equal 81. But a special characteristic about this area is those side lengths need to be the same. So I'm going through my facts, and I know 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 8 is 64, 9 times 9 is 81. And that could work here because all my sides can be 9 meters. And notice 9 times 9 equals 81. So if I was to have this equation, 9 times 9 is 81, so we know that's correct. So we know that each side here is simply 9 meters. And that is all you need to do. Again, you're given an area, but you have to be careful. If you have a square, that means that the sides need to all be the same. So you want to think about what times what is going to bring you back to 81. But both those factors need to be exactly the same number. Now for this one here, we're back with a rectangle. We have an area of 15 square meters. We have a width of 3 centimeters, and we have a length of a missing side length that we're using X to represent that unknown. So again, we know that area equals length times width, and we're given an area of 15. We have a width of 3, but we don't have X. We don't have that unknown, which I'll represent that as L because that unknown is my length. Or you can also say 15 equals 3X. Either one is fine. And that's telling me 3 times L, 3 times X. Now that's telling me 3 times some number is going to give me 15. Many of you might know that something is 5 because 3 times 5 is 15. If you are unsure, you can also do 15 divided by 3 gives you 5. Now notice my side X is 5. centimeters, not square centimeters, because square centimeters would mean I have my area. We are just finding that missing side length here, which happens to be 5 centimeters. And notice you can confirm your answer is correct, because if you were to go back and plug in 5, you have 5 times 3, which equals 15 square centimeters. Now for this next one, we have another rectangle here. This time it's saying 35 square units. And they gave us a width of 5, but we need to find our length. So again, here our area is going to equal our length times our width. So in this situation here, we have an area of 35. We don't have a length, but we have a width. So 5 times some number is going to give me 35. That number, known as my length, is going to be represented as 7 units, or you could say 7U, 7 units. All representations are fine. Now, if you did not know that 5 times 7 was 35, you could have also done 35 divided by 5 equals 7. And you can confirm this is correct because 5 times 7 is 35. Now, when you are completing these problems, it's very important that you look at what is given to you. Do you have an area? If you have the area, your goal is to find the other side length. So you're not always going to be multiplying. Yes, you multiply to find the area, but when you're given the area, now you're dividing, okay? And it's very important that you focus and see what's given to you. What is the missing thing you need to find? So as always, feel free to refer back to this video at any time during today's activity.